So this vlog is it's a long time coming. Every time I think about doing this, it's like, no, Ao, let's wait till Saturday so that way we can close it out. Close out the past 2 years. Because when it comes to the week, it starts with Sunday, ends with Saturday, hence the word in the term weekend. Because end is both the beginning and the end. Because it's the ends. It's on either side of it. But every time the weekend comes, I never do this. And this needs to be done. I gotta get this done so I can continue on with my life. Take out these headphones so I can hear myself without being muffled. So a couple months before my mom had died, got a job at Vaughn's just up the street. Was working at the meat department. And I don't want to bore you with the details and, tell you the semantics of how California works and how everything's a revolving door and how everything is just pretty much shit hitting the fan. But, it just needs to be said. From what I can remember, about a week before Mom died, I lost my job at Vaughn's. And I kid you not, this was their excuse. That I don't have a good customer service voice. To their defense, maybe I could have been depressed. I could have had other things on my mind, like, I don't know, maybe because my mom was in the hospital 6 out of the 7 days of the week because of cancer. I'm sorry. That's out of my control, Vaughn's, but I digress. Maybe I'll make a whole vlog about how California does business nowadays. But this is just to give you a general example on why I've been so inconsistent the past couple of years. And I know I did my history show for quite a while in that time. But, the brain is a weird thing. The farther you push yourself away from what is really going on, the harder it's going to hit you when it does. Just to give you an example. Well, not really an example, the truth. My mom literally saved my ass. At least twice. Unfortunately, I was not taken care of to the best of abilities by my birth mother. I was rescued and then I was adopted by my grandparents who raised me, just several weeks to several months after I was born. I'm not going to fill you in on the details because I actually have a good standing, relationship with my birth mother now. But it just wasn't pretty at that time. And shortly after I had gotten rescued, the doctor didn't even give me till morning until I was dead. Keep in mind, this is when I was an infant. And somehow, through some grace of God, through some divine will, my grandmother, who I call my mom because she raised me, snuggled me back to life. And here I sit talking to you through the camera, through the internet, through this recording. Pardon me. So anyway, history lesson aside, and that's for a vlog maybe in another day, or a book in another day, or if I do so will decide to respond to your inquiries in the comments section below, or in Discord, or however else you know how to get a hold of me. A week after they let me go from Vons, from the meat department, mind you, which could have been a really good career, my mom died from a very rare, very aggressive form of cancer. And I don't even remember the cancer it was. But it was such a rare and aggressive form that she was actually a test subject. The medical community to this day, or at least to 2015, had little to no data about it. Leukemia, that's what it was. A very rare, very aggressive form of leukemia that usually took people within days. Days! Of what's the word? Well, whenever doctors find it. She lasted a year and a half, 2 years before it finally took her. So then several months later, I thought I got my shit together, and I got a job at the Circle K up in Savvy Ranch. And after two months of that job, once again the revolving door hit me. Now, just to give you a little example, I know I said I wasn't going to educate you on the finite and excessive details of how California does business, but just to give you an example, just to enlighten you, in California, and probably in many other states now, because California was the breeding ground for this, it is a lot easier, a lot more cost effective, a lot cheaper, and an overall corporation ideal to just have someone be trained, and I use the word trained in quotations, that's why I did this, to just have someone shadow someone else. So that way there's little to no paperwork, there's little to no people coming in to train them. You're just paying them by the hour, no special cost. And then when their probation ends, be it 30, 60, or 90 days, depending on the company or the corporation, you find out a reason, which is legal, to get rid of them. As I said, they got rid of me at Vons for not having a customer service voice. I fought to my almost literal dying breath to save that job. Maybe like send me to a warehouse, or send me to the stockroom, or send me anywhere. No, they didn't want me at all. Because if I stayed beyond the probation, then what if I stay till the corporate mandated raise? Oh heavens, no. Then they'll have to pay me 5 cents more an hour for a job that they can pay someone right off the street for 5 cents less an hour. But I digress. So anyway, 2 to 3 months after Mom had died, I got a job at the Circle K. In about 2 months or 60 days after my probation, I'm not going to elaborate on the subject, but they set me up. They brought in someone who had worked for that company for quite some time, and set up a whole thing to make me look bad because I wasn't doing anything that they could possibly feasibly fire me for. So they set up a whole circumstance in order to get rid of me. Whatever. So several months passed, and in that time I did my history show for quite some time, and I was doing other things and whatnots. And then I experienced another death. My sister. Now, to explain the importance of this, my mom loved Christmas. She was a giving person to pain. And you know the term "give till it hurts"? She went beyond that. It's not my place to say this, but she really financially hurt us for quite some time, giving to me, to my dad, and to the other members of our family. And it wasn't until just not so recently ago that we finally somehow dug ourselves out of that hole. But that's just what my mother was. She was a giving person, and she was my personal Jesus. Because not only did she portray every good aspect about humanity, but she has saved my life at least twice. But anyway, coming on to a more modern timetable. The doctors don't know what took her. My sister, at least. Back in 2001, she had gotten diagnosed with diabetes and stuff, but sometime around August or September of just last year, she got hit hard. She started really losing feeling in her legs. Mind you that she was like, wibbly wobbly every now and then, but then it hit her hard. She went from using a walker to being pretty much paralyzed from the neck down within a month period. And my dad and my uncle even built a ramp for her out in their house. And we had her over at our house Thanksgiving of last year. Pardon me if I start to cry. But she barely had any feeling in her hands. Well, none. She couldn't control anything from her neck down. She could move her hands in her arms and stuff, but not really have any feeling. Her legs were dead weight. And by Christmas, she was in a coma. Christmas. Mom's favorite holiday. January 3rd, we had to pull the plug. Pardon me. So I'm sorry to all those who I have aggravated, who I have annoyed, who I have ignored, who I have otherwise wronged in any form of way. But as the saying goes, everybody's fighting their own battles. And as the lyric goes from Eminem, I am a comedian. I just hide behind the tears of a clown. Because the best way to escape your reality is to escape it. This vlog was a long time coming. I've been wanting to do this before Kim even entered the wheelchair. way before that. And now I have another corpse to talk about. For those of you still watching, I appreciate and admire your tenacity. For watching a 30-year-old man spill tears over loss of half of his known family. But every black cloud has a silver lining. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get into that. Let's just say I've re-established contact with the other half of my family that I haven't seen since I was an adolescent. I don't know what else to say. No, you just keep on keeping on. Do the best you can with what you got. Help others and accept help from others. And really, the reason why I'm recording this vlog right now is because I have lost a really good friend of mine just a couple days ago. I'll give you his initials. And if you are watching this, JP, you know who you are. Everybody has their own pains. Everybody's going through their own shit. The only thing we can do in this world is to be here for each other. I am my mom's son. I cannot accept help from others. I can only give unto them. That is why I am who I am. It is because of her. So I'm sorry for being me. And I am not sorry for being me. It's more or less the past 2 years. I don't know what else to say. You just do you and I do me, and let's respect each other unconditionally. I love humanity.